The Duffer Brothers gotta be worse than EDP 445. The Duffer Brothers gotta be the worst combination of brothers on this planet since the Wright brothers. Not because the Wright brothers invented the airplane, but because the Wright brothers' invention led to Spirit Airlines, and I think that's pretty bad. The Duffer Brothers gotta be the worst pair of individuals since Hitler and Stalin. Yeah, that's the comparison we gonna go with. So, I'm back. That's right, 4 days in, we just now back. I enjoyed my mini vacation, and during my vacation, actually on New Year's Eve, going into the big 2026, I sat my black ass in a theater with my girl, and we watched the Stranger Things finale. Oh my god. Now, for the record, Stranger Things Season 5 has been getting kind of jumped in all areas of the internet for a variety of reasons, some of which we're going to talk about, other which, y'all kind of tripping. The Duffer Brothers, the duo, the dynamic duo. See, when I think of the Duffer Brothers, I think of the Russo brothers, because they can only cook a few times before the get out of jail free card goes stale. And Duffer Brothers are only what I can make an analogy to is when you tell a lie for the first time, right? You tell a lie to your mom about why you didn't bring home your report card. But then, she asks you again. So you got to change up your story and be like, well, I never actually got the report card. Actually, see, I got the report card, but then I threw it in the trash. Actually, see, my dog ate my report card. Anytime the Duffer Brothers open their mouth, I think it is a national emergency. Every time the Duffer Brothers open their mouth to speak, you just know you about to hear the most outrageous bullshit. I don't know who I trust more at this point, our current sitting president or the current sitting Duffer Brothers in charge. I get scared. Because I know they're about to spout out some unintelligible bullshit, acting as if they are not the ones who put the pen to the page. This chat GPT ass season, bruh. I can't take this shit seriously. What the fuck you mean Vecna would never expect an attack on his home in a million years? See, when people talk about Stranger Things Season 5, a lot of people are confusing plot details with plot holes. A plot hole is defined as an inconsistency in the narrative or character development of a book, film, television show, etc. With the specific definition used in the sentence is, there are a few plot holes in some moments of serious implausibility. That is a plot hole. Why the fuck is Vecna, of all people, someone who has been shown to be intelligent, petty, and confident, why would he not expect an attack on his home world when he literally read through Eleven's mind? He literally read through Hopper's mind. He should know the plan, beat for beat, detail from detail. Vecna should have dropped 11 and realized that he needs to take care of the active threat that's approaching him. Something I would understand if they didn't make it a point that Vecna can pull you and read your fucking memories. What do you mean you don't? He would never expect it. You wrote the fucking show. Where are the Demogorgons? Where are the Demodogs? Yeah, they probably off at the Phase House doing crypto scams or something better with their time. Like, are you fucking serious? Come on, son. You want to talk about the actual plot hole? What was the point of the military pulling up on Mr. Clark and Erica because they don't show up for the rest of the show outside of one shot in the graduation scene? What the fuck was the point? They did nothing this whole ass season besides waste time and sit on their fucking thumbs. The most incompetent group of people of all time. I swear on my soul, you take the military out this season, I'm gonna ask you what genuinely changes. Something that falls into the plot details category would be something along the lines of Henry, Krill, Joyce, and Hopper all going to the same high school and being a part of the same class all together. That's an interesting plot detail that probably would have enhanced the narrative if the Duffer Brothers actually decided to take the fucking finger out their asshole and actually point it in the air to make the thinking motion so their brains could turn on and they can actually use their monkey brains to put the pen to the page instead of typing in the chat GPT, how do I finish this fuck ass show? Like, what are we doing here? What was the point of making an entire supplementary play that exists and as a companion piece to season 5 that delves into your main antagonist, that it's also canon to the events that take place in the same fucking season, if you're not going to reference it, if you're not going to do or build upon it? What the fuck is the point of the play? Why would you do it? Especially when your main season finale is coming up, and you need all hands on deck. The Duffers lie. The Duffers are papa because they fucking lie, because you spend your entire life gassing up this piece of shit ass product, and you're shocked? You want to say, but I'm sick, that's why y'all should leave me alone. No, dickhead, you are the captain of this ship. You die with it. If you simply forgot where the Demogorgons were, okay, just be like, yo man, I kind of fucking forgot because I'm lazy as shit. And at this point, so many statements, it's clear that the Duffer Brothers couldn't come up to a conclusion with a lot of the plot threads, so they decided to turn to the audience and give them a take-home test and tell them that whatever answer they come to, as long as they show their work, they'll give them a star of fucking David or something. I don't know, because what do you mean that we have to use our imagination and come to our conclusion on, is Robin and Vicky together the only listen, Byler fans, I don't feel no sympathy for y'all, because this is low-key y'all first time in the real world experiencing a show ending in real time, and the little shit that everyone told you is not gonna happen didn't happen, so now you have to cry, piss, and moan about it. I get it, most of y'all little kids, okay? But they broke up off screen, and Robin drops a one-liner, and the implications that, oh, we want to and have the audience draw their own conclusion, but we're gonna get on an interview and be like, yeah, we kind of implied that they broke up. What the man? Y'all got the easiest job in the fucking world. But fuck it, put me in there. I guarantee you, I can shit in my hands and clap a better fucking finale than what the hell I just paid $40 to watch. What the fuck? And the problem with all of Stranger Things is because to me, it became quite clear that the Duffer Brothers and maybe Netflix as a whole wanted the general audience money. Okay, I went and I saw this in a packed out theater. I haven't seen a theater without a single seat available. The last time I saw that was Avengers Endgame. I went as the ball was dropping. Okay, I sat in there, 2026 hit, and I was still in there watching Stranger Things. We did a little countdown in the theater. It was kind of silly. But again, sitting there and knowing that this is their prized possession. This is what they spent 10 years building, and we got cut the blacks like you're about to go to commercial. TV hasn't been TV since maybe fucking 2012. What are we cutting the black for so we can bait out the most popular, not maybe most popular, but the most fan favorite character of all time, just to do a weak ass fucking fake out death so we can have Jonathan, someone who has been on official fraud watch since season 2 of the show, who has done nothing but sit around and be Nancy's lapdog, and the big moment he had this season was deciding, I am not going to marry Nancy. That's right, I'm going to accomplish 0, 0, 0, 0 this entire fucking show. His big moment is saving Steve. Cool. Cool. Like, to me, that just shows the Duffer Brothers had no grit throughout this whole finale. And that's the part that got me, because truthfully, I don't think they're all that washed. There are moments, there are nuggets in that finale that if they actually had some fucking balls, they probably would have executed on. Maybe even the whole season as a whole. Now listen, one of my least favorite critiques that I've ever seen people spread around about any piece of media is that, oh, there are too many characters alive. They should have died right here and then, okay? Character deaths does not necessarily always equal a great story. Okay, characters can gracefully leave. Number one critique is that you don't kill off any important characters besides your kill off character bait quota. And it gets even worse when the one character you do decide to kill off is from the most hated episode in the show. No one gives a fuck about 8. The theater didn't care. The theater popped off at everything, and I can tell that maybe it's the second script term that has been used where Netflix is essentially forcing writers to account for the fact that people are probably on their phone, so every time they're on screen, they gotta explain what's going on. They gotta keep re-explaining what the plan is, so if you put the Jenga box on the Origins mystery box, what we have is actually a propulsion device that's gonna send us over to Vector's Chronicle, and when inside the what the fuck is a cran? No, but seriously, that is probably the biggest reason, is that the Duffer Brothers, and by extension Netflix, instead of writing the show for an audience that is more than likely grew up with the show, they decided to cater to the poop pop and the peep pop, the people who were spamming Chrissy wake up when season 4 dropped. What the fuck? I'm still on this shit. Another fucking plot hole I just really thought of. What was the point of the military? The military pull up on Mr. Clark and Erica right after they just had the conversation where Mr. Clark finally gets to directly contribute to what has been going on. The thing he might have been aware of based off of little dialogue tidbits, he finally gets to get clued in on what has been going on for the last 5 years. And he really kind of don't got anything. He doesn't really have a reaction. He's just like, oh, okay, cool. I get to do science nerdy shit. And then the military pulls up. Okay, cool. What do we get out of this? They capture Max and they capture Vicky. I think that's her name. Oh no, they get them. They pull up on Erica and Mr. Clark. They don't show up for the rest of the episode. Erica does at the end. But what the fuck was the point of the military? A plot hole? Let's talk about it. Nancy, the walk 'em down Wheeler, spent the entirety of season 5 gunning down people. Hopper was throwing grenades and suddenly turned into a James Bond villain. Nah, fuck out of here, police chief and Miss Shoot 'em Up cans. Nancy all of a sudden turned into AA badasses. Okay. Okay, but they do all that and they essentially walk away. Dr. K has made it clear that she will expend any and every resource to making sure that she captures 11, but 11 stands in the upside down. And when you have her in a position where you could more than likely probably grab her, you're not going to send any men. You're just going to have a one-on-one stare down. Are you fucking serious? Are you genuinely serious? Like, come on, man. People are going, like, I've seen so many people try to paint this off as, well, it was a perfect ending, you know, well, maybe a couple 1, 2, 3s are wrong with it. No, this ending is atrocious, and anyone defending it, I'm like, you can like it, okay? You can like bad things. Is Stranger Things the worst ending of all time? No, I'd actually argue that something along the lines of Domestic Girlfriend is probably the worst ending that I've ever had the experience of going through, but that was so dumpster fire, it was fun. Sitting in theaters and listening to the casual audience pop off and celebrate like it was a Marvel movie was fun. I always like being in theaters. That elevates my experience watching a thing that I'd probably be pissed off watching at home, okay? I watched FNAF 2 in theaters. That movie is fucking ass. But regardless of that point, Stranger Things, at least in my opinion, I don't want to like low-key be a contrarian, but Stranger Things to me was never really all that. It was a show that I thought was great at one point. It was solid, but the longer it went on, the less things that I liked about it. And that's crazy because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Season 3, deadass, my favorite season of the show because I really like the character pairings. I really like them messing around and doing, you know, not standard things. I'm sorry, that might be a weird hot take, but season 5 just so happens to be a pretty below average ending to a show that got hailed as one of the greatest of all time. Also, hold on, actually, I'll lie. We're not gonna stop the video. We're gonna double back on you Byler heads, because listen, I get it. It's your first show that you watch to completion. Okay, the thing about shipping, right, is as far as I remember, shippers never really cared about canon. Okay, I was around when Naruto ended. People to this day still ship Naruto and Sasuke. They don't give a fuck about canonicity. Okay, just because you realize that these media corporations deadass don't care about representation and that they are going to dangle it in front of you, you know, just tease you with it and like clue it on fan ideas just so they can do their marketing runs. I'm sorry that you looked at that and thought that somehow that would mean that your ship is canon, even though it would completely go against Mike's character who's been dating Elle for 5 seasons. And when you listen to the Tammy conversation between Will and Will and Robin, that you didn't pick up on the obvious hints at what Robin was implying, and when everyone tried to tell you guys look stupid, like, hold on, let me spin back on y'all real quick. I have seen so many people try to act like that. Oh, the reason why the episode where Will comes out as the lowest rated episode in the show is because of all the bigots. And no, they were going to download that regardless. I saw so many people to claim to be fans of the show that went and said this episode was so fucking egregiously awful, which I don't know how do you come to that conclusion when we've been watching the same show, and I'd argue that episode is just as bad as everything leading up and after it. But regardless of that fact, I saw so many people advocating for going ahead and review bombing it, and now we want to suddenly act like that. Oh, it was the homophobes, it was the Ben Shapiro's, the XQCs. Listen, buddy, they were gonna downvote it regardless. Okay. If anyone who has watched the show like y'all claim to do, they would have picked on the fact that Will is gay miles ago. Okay? I get the scene was bad. I even agree that the scene was bad and felt rushed. And in the finale, Mike looking at Will and going like, friends? Nah, best friends. Was fucking awful. Okay, I agree with y'all. However, let's not act like y'all was not at the scene of the crime with the gun partially in hand. Okay, you had the gunpowder on the fingertips and trying to act like y'all didn't shoot. Fuck out of here, bro. But regardless of that fact, 2026 Stranger Things, I'm glad we leaving you behind, because quite frankly, I got tired of getting told I look like Lucas. Because that's low-key racist. They just saying that I don't have a character and all I do is chase after white gingers because gingers backwards is Nick